everyone, it's Diabetic Danica and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you what I think about the T-Slim insulin pump by Tandem. So I've been using the T-Slim now for over a month, might even be going on 2 months, and I really like it. So if you missed my unboxing video, basically I'm trying out the T-Slim pump just temporarily. One of my reps at work let me borrow it, and so I'm trying it out and letting you know my thoughts. So I have an Animas insulin pump currently, and they are no longer making insulin pumps. So in February is the date that my warranty expires, and so that's when I have to pick a new pump, and so I'm trying to figure out which one I want to get. So here's my review of T-Slim. So one cool thing about the T-Slim pump that makes it unique is that it's a touch screen. So you touch the screen and that's how it works, which sounds like it could just be cosmetic, like it's just for looks, but really it does have a cool feature in that you don't have to scroll to certain numbers, you can just type it in. So for instance, with my other pumps, I've only had Animas, but I would have to scroll to my blood sugar, scroll to my carb count, scroll to the units I wanted. But with this one, you just enter it in. See how it has like a pin pad basically with numbers? So you end up saving a lot of time because you can just type in your blood sugar, type in the carbs, that kind of thing. On that same note, I also really like that this has a built-in calculator. So like I said, my other ones I would just have to scroll, and so I would often use my phone calculator to kind of add up my carbs all together if the math was like kind of tricky or if I was just distracted or whatever. But this is cool. You can just put in like 15 and then the plus sign and then like 23 and then the plus sign, and then it'll just count it all up for you. So it's just kind of a cool feature. One thing I wasn't sure if I would like is the insulin being in a bag. So the cartridge here holds this shrink wrap bag basically, and that's what you fill up with insulin. And I wasn't sure if this was going to be an issue for me. I've just always had, you know, more of a reservoir cartridge kind of thing. So I guess one of my concerns would be that maybe I only had a little bit of insulin in my vial and I wouldn't be able to put that in my pump because it has a minimum fill volume for the bag and the tubing and all that. But so far that hasn't been an issue. I'm just putting 2 vials in my purse instead of 1, just in case so I have a backup to my backup, basically. In terms of the infusion sets, they're pretty much the exact same infusion sets I used with Animas, so no change there. One thing that's different about the T-Slim is this pigtail part. So see that little thing in the middle? I don't know if it's in focus. But the part where it connects to the pump, most pumps have a little like lifted part of the pump, like a thing that sticks out where the tubing connects, but this one has it kind of partway through the tubing, which a lot of people don't like. I never really understood why they didn't like it until I started wearing it, and I was like, oh, that's why they don't like it. Like, it seems kind of like a minor detail, like why would you care? But I kind of see why. Like the first day I wore it, it basically is the part that exactly sticks out from my pocket. So I often wear my pump in my pocket, and then I just tuck in the rest of the tubing into the waistband of my pants, like my jeans. But when that happens, there's this exact part that is showing, and I just feel like it's definitely more bulky than the other one, but more so it just looks more medical to me. Like I liked on my Animas, it was just a thin tube, you could barely even notice it. But this guy is a little bit more medical looking, more like I'm on like an IV or something like that. And it also is obviously heavier than just a plain tubing, so it tends to like, I don't know, like pull the tubing weird ways. Not in a way that would hurt me or anything like that, but just making my tubing kind of like blah. So not my favorite, but definitely like not a deal breaker. Another different feature about this pump is that you plug it in. So with my other pumps, and I think all other pumps, you use like batteries that you buy at the store to put in the pump. Like I had to use lithium batteries that were AA, I believe, in my Animas. But this one just has a rechargeable battery built into the pump, so you just plug it into the wall. Again, that was a feature that I wasn't sure if I was gonna love. I'm pretty bad at keeping things charged, like my phone and my computer and just anything that needs to be charged. I have stuff dying a lot. But so far, this has only completely died once. And I was at home and I was just putting off charging it like while I was getting ready. And so it was more so I knew I was at home and it wasn't going to be that big of a deal if it did die for half a second. So most of the time it's easy. I think I just need to get into a habit of charging it when I shower. I hear most people do that. The one cool thing about this is it charges really, really fast. It doesn't have to be plugged in very long to get full charge or even partially charged, and the battery lasts a while. Obviously it depends how much you're interacting with the pump. If you have a CGM on the pump, that's all going to affect the battery life. But I feel like the battery lasts a while and it charges really fast. So even if you have a commute in your car to school or to work, you could plug in your pump in your car and that would work too. I've plugged it in at work, so like in between patients, if I'm just charting, I know I'm gonna be charting for a little bit, I bring my cord in my purse with me and I just plug it into my, well, I've tried it into my computer and it didn't work for some reason, but I just plug it into an outlet and charge it while I sit at work. Another thing I love about this pump is how tiny it is. It's super small. Like, I thought my Animus wasn't huge. It was a good size, and this one isn't that much smaller, but it just feels a lot smaller. Like, I think it's because it's flat on the back too. The Animus, if you ever saw that one, kind of had this curve to it. And so I would try to like put it in the side of my bra here and it just wasn't comfortable, but this one is so flat that it's easy to just tuck into my bra if need be. Like if I have some shorts that are pretty lightweight and I don't want to be weighed down with a pump, or if I don't have a pocket or something like that, it's been a great place to put it because it's just so tiny and compact and flat. Let's talk about the case. So it comes with this case. It has a clip on the back. That's one thing I miss about my Animus pump is the clip was just really small. It was just a clip and it just puts on the back of the pump and there's no case around it. So this one you have to have a case to get the clip, which I don't love because it makes it a little bit bulkier. Not a lot, but a little. But sometimes you just need a clip. Like I was saying, if you don't have pockets, maybe the pockets are too small or whatever, you want to clip it somewhere, you need the whole case. I was also really upset because at first I thought you could only clip it horizontally, and it just surprised me how much this bugged me because I've always clipped my pump vertically like this, and just having to do it horizontally just bugged the crap out of me. And then I posted that on Instagram and people were like, you can move the clip. So I figured out you can, well, I didn't figure out, they told me that you can take the clip out and move it to be vertical as well. So it's cool that it goes both ways. Another cool feature about this pump that makes it unique, I haven't got to try it out yet, but it does have a temperature sensor in it so that if it senses that it's getting too hot, and maybe too cold too, or maybe it's just too hot, I'm not sure, it'll have an alarm for you. And so that's really nice because obviously if insulin gets too hot, it can go bad, and I don't know of any other pump that alarms for that. So I never had that happen, thankfully, but I was told that is a feature. One thing I feel like could be improved with this pump, and it's super minor, it's like not even a big deal, is the button on top, that shiny one. So that's kind of what wakes up your pump and lets you see the screen and everything. I just think it's really hard to push, and maybe I just haven't quite finessed it yet, but especially at first because I wasn't sure on how hard I had to push and that kind of thing, I had a really hard time getting it to turn on. But now I'm better at it, but especially if this case is over the top, because they do cover the button with this rubber thing, it's really hard for me to push it. So I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but yeah, minor thing, but I find it hard to find just the right strength to push it, but I'm getting better now that I've used it longer. Another thing I've noticed with this pump is it is pretty sensitive to occlusions, at least more so than my Animus pump. So Animus pump, I almost never got an occlusion alarm. This pump I've got it a couple times, but it was right about when I was due to change my set. So I was kind of thankful that it was telling me that the insulin wasn't being delivered efficiently, because obviously that's really important to know that you're getting your insulin and your set isn't completely bad. So I wonder if with my Animus pump, if I had sets going bad, if I would have had this pump, if I would have known sooner, I don't know. But I do feel like just compared to the Animus, it's more sensitive, but I haven't gotten an absorbent amount of occlusion alarms or anything like that, just a couple, and I changed my set and then it was good. So another thing I'm not a big fan of with this pump is that when you prime it, so like when you load a new cartridge and you're priming the tubing, it has a minimum prime volume of like 10 units, I think. So like one time I made a mistake and I said it did prime all the way, but really I had an issue with the connection here and it had been leaking out. And so I wanted to prime it again, but not the full 10 because it was partially primed already. Like it did get past this a little bit, I think. And it made me do the whole 10 units and I just feel like I wasted insulin. And so I wish that you could just prime as much as you wanted. Another thing I don't love about this pump is just one of the alarms just bugs me. So when I choose to have 0% basal for some reason, like say I see that I'm going to go low or I'm going to go for a walk and I really feel like I'm going to go low, I might do 0% for like 30 minutes, let's say. It'll let me do that, and then in like 2 minutes, 1 minute, something like that, it'll alarm telling me that I am below my minimum basal. And I'm always just like, yeah, I know, I did that on purpose. And it's just annoying because by that time I forget that alarm is gonna happen, so I like do it all, I put it away wherever it is, here, pocket, pouch, wherever, and then it alarms and I'm like, what? And I look at it and it's like, you're below your minimum basal. And I'm like, uh-huh. So I wish that alarm wasn't there, it's really annoying. However, one thing I love about this pump is that it reminds me to change my set. So I got really bad for a while at waiting too long to change my sets, putting it off, but this one lets you set a reminder. So I have a 3-day reminder set. After I change my set and my insulin, it alarms after 3 days. And I've also been trying to be better about only filling enough insulin to last the 3 days, but it's just helpful to have that alarm being like, it has been 3 days since you changed your set, because I often think, no, it hasn't, I just did that, but it's just helpful to have it tell me. Overall, I really, really like this pump. I think overall it's just really simple to use. It's very straightforward, very user-friendly, easy to understand, and an all-around great pump. I'm going to do a separate video on the Basal IQ feature, which is the Dexcom G6 integrated with the pump. I just started using that, so there'll be another video on my experience with that. But of course, that's another thing I love about the t:slim is that it integrates with Dexcom, and I am a huge Dexcom fan. I love their product, their continuous glucose monitor. So check out that video once it's up of my experience with Basal IQ. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I make new videos about diabetes all the time. And leave a comment down below letting me know if I missed anything with the t:slim, what you like about your pump, anything like that. I would love to see that. Share this video with a friend if you think that it would help them. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.